many organizations who still do minimal training of their sales leaders. The driver of this, from my perspective, is a generation of senior sales leaders who were also not trained to lead and carry with them the belief that I didn't get trained and I figured it out, so they can too. This logic affects attrition rates for the role itself, while also impacting the lives of an untold number of sellers who have the misfortune of placing their careers in the hands of an incompetent leader. I am fortunate to have worked with great people and had success with great teams, though in my first leadership assignment, I chose the path of most resistance. I knew little about what I was doing beyond that we were going to move fast and sell a lot. I made every mistake there was to make as a new leader, and while, luckily, delivering over quota results, I was winning in spite of myself rather than because of myself. The turning point in my leadership career was the moment I realized that as a sales leader, I controlled two things and two things alone. The more I focused on exerting control in these two areas at the expense of all others, the more effective I became. The first was who was on my team, and the second, how well had I equipped those people to succeed. I reached this conclusion while reflecting on my frustration with people on my team who were underperforming. I have always operated with the belief that anything that happens to me is my fault and my responsibility. I determined that if someone on my team was underperforming, it was a byproduct of my decisions in one of two ways. If a salesperson was underperforming, it was either because I sent them out into the field unprepared to perform in the role, which was my decision not to adequately prepare them, or because I decided to keep that person in that role after they had proven over a measurable period that they were unable or unwilling to do the things required to perform in the role. As a leader, if I recruited and selected the best people, I would have the best team. If I relentlessly worked to train and develop my great people, I would have the best team. If I had the highest of standards and enforced those standards, I would have the best team. Note that the lowest behavior a leader is willing to tolerate is the actual standard, not what is spoken or printed on the wall. These were lessons with immense value and ones through which my life and many other lives could have been improved had I learned them sooner. It is the importance of the role, the challenge of the role, the lack of training, and the pivotal leadership lessons learned along the way that frame the significance of the book you are holding, Leading Growth. I have been a longtime reader of Anthony's work. His daily blog is required reading for all sales and sales leadership professionals. What has always drawn me to Anthony is that while most sales content is a tactical explanation or do this, his cerebral style challenges the listener to think about what they are doing and why they are doing it, and ensures appropriate preparation to maximize value in every interaction. What he has done with Leading Growth is create the ultimate unification of both the art and the science of sales leadership. The book embraces the requirements of elite leadership, while not ignoring the reality that there are principles of management that must be upheld in the day-to-day actions of the role. What makes Leading Growth such a valuable book is that it covers the critical but traditional elements of sales leadership like accountability, training and coaching effectiveness, opportunity reviews, and selecting talent. Where this book is different and takes the listener to a new level is a dive into the intangible aspects of the role. He takes us through a framework for crafting a vision and communicating it in a way that resonates and wins hearts and minds, and explores how to set standards and non-negotiables. The listener is taught to distinguish between commitment and compliance along leadership styles and their situational applicability. Even something as critical, but rarely considered, as protecting your team from non-sales work is addressed in Leading Growth. These lessons are what make this book so impactful. They are the lessons all leaders need to know, but are so often overlooked unless learned the hard way. For new leaders, even those in companies who provide great leadership training, this book establishes a strong foundation to succeed early and sustainably.